His formal education and training is in electrical engineering, water utility sciences, fire science EMT, and wilderness trauma and life support. He has 35 plus years of industry experience. Jim joined Mitsubishi Cement in 1995. Jim has joined where he was hired as a journeyman electrician for the large mining and manufacturing facility at the Christianberry plant. Elevated to the additional title and current role as safety superintendent, he is involved with employee safety training and compliance, as well as a program development and implementation. Joe has received multiple PCA Safety Innovation Awards, including the International Award from Vendrex for worker well-being and ergonomics. He was also the runner-up. The runner-up was University of California. Other community involvement for him includes a board member of the Americans for Forest Access. He's a founding member. A board member in the Big Bear Trail Riders, also a founding member. A board member in the Big Bear Valley Republican Assembly. Current treasurer, past vice president and president. He's a Barstow Veterans Home and a high school scholarship programs. So he keeps quite active. So please give a warm welcome to Jim Anderson. He's split broke.
That was quite the introduction. I've got a personal motto that I choose not to complain about something unless I'm trying to be effective in change. And that's a big deal. I'd like to thank a few people in this room. Dave Riddle, Tim Sparks. Without their participation in this program, this would have gone nowhere. This page is, we toyed with trying to reduce the title page by quite a bit, but aligning regulatory compliance and technical advancements, a comprehensive approach to hearing and protection for individuals with hearing loss was as small as we could make it. Let me judge who I'm speaking to. If you are over 50 or plan on living to be over 50, raise your hand. If you've worked in industry that has noise, raise your hand. If you've gone to dinner with your spouse and the background noise is frustrating enough you do not enjoy your dinner, raise your hand. This is relevant. This is relevant. By age 50, 90% of coal miners and 49% of non-metal miners have hearing loss, compared to 10% of the general population. And this is our guys. These are our employees. Management is generally unaware of this statistic because of HIPAA. They've got no need to know. Your safety guy, me, that has the ability to look at the audiograms for every employee is aware of this. This study was done by NIOSH, Yale University, and MSHA, and it hasn't changed. If you have the opportunity to have the conversation with your safety guy, find out what your statistic is. It's a scary statistic because, one, it's protected under HIPAA, and management doesn't have a need to know, and most people don't want to have that conversation going. 50% of our workforce have a measurable hearing impairment. This was a driving factor for me. I didn't take the safety chair until 2019, but this statistic it's huge, and nobody is aware of this. And this needs to be in your conversations with your parents and your kids. But 61% higher propensity to having the early onset of dementia. How many people in here know somebody that has dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, tinnitus? Yeah, that's us. That's our families, that's our parents. Once I became aware of this and how high the statistic was for workers with a hearing deficit, I had to fix it. But it was a two-pronged approach. I onboard every new employee, and I had to fix this for the guys that haven't lost hearing yet. This is one of my guys, Chris, amazing individual, has good hearing. He's on the radio in an ER room where we have a rotary air compressor. The background noise is 115 decibels. He's trying to have a conversation on the radio. A Motorola HT750 with an external mic held to your ear, that's 120 decibels at your ear. These guys are just trying to do their job. So I reached out to a small company and I had a conversation with them, and we prototyped back and forth a couple items. The bone conduction mics don't work in high harmonics and high ambient noise with harmonics. They don't work. We tried all of 3M's products, Peltier, $7 billion company. They didn't have a solution. The small company in San Diego, their engineer is Brian. We went back and forth a couple times. I went out and I took amplitude and frequency readings. And I got with him and said, hey, can we build an electronic circuit that will work in this environment? And he said, yeah, but what's in it for us? I said, how many of these do I have to buy for you to make them? 30. That was it. I said, okay, sell them to me. So the guys that have good hearing won't get worse because they can wear earplugs and earmuffs and still communicate over radio to somebody that's in a quiet control room. So we fixed that. The next one was the guys that already have hearing loss. They got their earplugs in, their earmuffs on. They can't hear startup alarms, can't hear warning horns. They can't hear the guy saying, hey, there's a truck coming. Amplifiers push up all frequencies and you damage the peripherals where you don't already have some loss. You will lose those. So we needed a targeted device that would only increase the amplitude and the frequency where people already had hearing loss. There was a big issue with that though. It was illegal. It was disallowed by law by OSHA and MSHA because they specifically disallow a hearing aid to be used as hearing protection. It was against the law. That was a big hurdle. We had to actually get permission from Cal OSHA and MSHA to use these in our plant. So we had to go through a very lengthy study to get an NRR rating that was acceptable under Title 30, Part 105. And we had to fix this. We had to. How many people in here have small children, grandchildren, women with high voices? Those are the frequencies you lose first. I was in a transformer yard back in 2019. It blew up. I lost conversational frequencies, but I still had to do my job. I still covered a radio. So I got the radio mic to my head, doing my job. And when I wore that side out, I moved the mic to the other side. And hearing loss is so insidious because it's slow. It's not something that happens instantaneously across all frequencies. I didn't realize how bad I got until COVID broke out and everybody was wearing masks and I was completely dependent on physical communication. I didn't have conversation through my ears anymore and everybody's masked up. I had nothing. I'm in a boardroom. I gotta ask the guy sitting next to me, is there something I need to pay attention to after the meeting was done? So we had to fix this. My best hearing is down 50 decibels. Everybody in here, do you understand that decibels is exponential, not linear? 3 guys? Okay, so or 5 guys. For every 3 decibels, up or down, the sound pressure either doubles or halves. So small changes are significant. What we had to do is come up with a solution that addressed people with some hearing loss, not make them worse, and prevent harmful sound pressures. The only way to do that at an effective level is to completely occlude the ear canal. So not only do we have to program the hearing aid side or the hearing enhancement side to their very specific loss, we have to completely occlude the ear canal and develop an electronics package that completely disallows harmful noise. This is actually a mold of the inside of somebody's ear, and that's what we use to build the product to facilitate this. Noise is directional. People that do not have bilaterally symmetrical hearing can't tell where the sound's coming from. So part of the process is to customize a device that's programmed to their very specific loss in each ear. So it pushes up sound levels to as normal as we can make it and equal on both sides. So you get sound direction back. Is that critical safety to know where something's coming from? Absolutely. We did a proof of concept. I did 3 guys. 2 of the people already had hearing aids. I hadn't had hearing aids yet. So one guy had $4,000 hearing aids, another guy had $12,000 hearing aids, and I hadn't had hearing aids yet. But I wanted feedback on how this product compared to what was currently on the market from just the enhancement side. The guy that I worked with for years, the $12,000 guy, was absolutely amazed at how well this worked. And the other guy had regular hearing aids. He took his hearing aid out to put an earplug in, and he dropped it in the material pile and lost it. There went $2,000. With this device, you don't take them out. You put them in your head in the morning. You go do your job. You set it to the appropriate level for the environment that you're working in, and you take them out before you go to bed. There was a huge unintended consequence to the positive. I used to have to go to sleep with the television on at night because my tinnitus was so bad I needed the background noise. And this wasn't something I was looking for, so I don't know exactly when it occurred, but sometime between month 5 and month 8, my brain got enough stimulus at the frequencies that had been missing for a couple decades that my tinnitus level went down enough that I don't sleep with background noise anymore. That's huge. I watch TV with my wife now. She sits down next to me, she sets the volume, and I tune to what's comfortable for her instead of having her angered in another room because I'm listening to the TV that's too loud. How many guys have that experience? Yeah. Yeah, this fixes that. We had a 2-year wait period to get the noise reduction rating study done. One lab in the United States, COVID. They got to test 10 people, not my people, their people, to get a noise reduction rating. And NR is just a fancy word for noise reduction rating. It's on everybody's package, on their earplugs, stuff like that. But once I had actually got the noise reduction rating accepted by Cal OSHA, I got the results 12/7/22, and I had pre-staged all my stuff for Cal OSHA and MSHA. I got acceptance by Cal OSHA on 3/7/23 with internal help from OSHA's own employees. And MSHA, there's a gal that works for MSHA, Jennifer Vanway. I had to get this in front of her, and that was a huge task because she is super, super, super busy. And I had one of the people that work for her say, just look at it. He doesn't even care if you don't call him back, just look at it. When she finally looked at this, she called me with true excitement. Most guys lose frequencies 3, 4, 5, 6,000 hertz. Higher frequencies are attenuation with the current level of electronics that are available on the sound compression side. Inverse waveform, cool guy stuff like that. You're all electrical engineers, you get that. Is approaching 50 decibels of reduction. 50 decibels of reduction. Now remember, for 3 decibels of change, it either doubled or halved. To be able to achieve that level electronically is exponentially better than any hearing product on the market now. And still, it was against the law until we got an exception to use this product in our plant. We implemented it at our facility. Our loss prevention guy, Dan, amazing human being, he made this available to any employee with a need. Any employee with a need. Our first round, we did 20 guys. Our second round, we did 10, not counting the prototypes, and we're working on our next round now. And our employees got real skin in the game. We pay 95%, they pay 5%, so they've got a tangible amount out of their own pocket, and they're aware how beneficial this is long term, because I speak to this subject with them twice a year, every year. They stay employable longer, so you don't have turnover, because the guy's efficient at doing his job where he would have had to retire. I don't have to train a new guy to do that guy's job. And the kids that we're getting now, they would much rather make a living on their phone or their computer than make something they drop on their foot. So the longer I can keep a guy employed and viable and get in front of health issues 20 years down the road, how do you not do that? I had talked to people at Cal OSHA and MSHA, and to get this done, I had to get buy-in from them. I had help from Diane Fionda and Charlie Wilson at Cal OSHA. They helped push it up to Eric Berg. Took several runs, but we got it done. And then Jennifer Vanway, I can't say enough. She was so complimentary, and she was so involved with this once she looked at what we were able to do. It was absolutely amazing. Personally, my life changed. I can still go to work. I'm still functional. And my best hearing is down 50 decibels. And I thought I was the outlier. I'm not the outlier. I'm one of that 50% of the people that work in our industry that unfortunately have some hearing loss. Anyway, I'm Jim Anderson. I work for Mitsubishi Cement. There's a couple incredible people in here that made this possible today. One of my managers is part of the PCA event here. And I am so grateful to be able to present this to you guys in this room. Go to your plants, have a discussion with your safety guys, and look at your hearing test. Thank you.